In this video, we look at the communication between quantum particles to prove we are a part of a universe that is of intelligent design. These communicating particles prove that we are a part of a high-technology simulation. The communication between atoms is called quantum communication. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Advanced quantum experiments have discovered that quantum particles communicate at speeds faster than the speed of light, regardless of distance. The understanding of quantum entanglement is one of the most important discoveries of the 21st century. To study the communication between quantum particles, researchers often use a special kind of crystal to generate two entangled particles. The entangled particles are then sent off to different locations. At different locations, these particles are observed. The scientists measure the direction the particles are spinning, which can be either up or down along a given axis. Before the particles are measured, each will be in a state of superposition, or both spin up and spin down at the same time. If the researcher measures the direction of one particle's spin and then repeats the measurement on its distant entangled partner, the researcher will always find that the pair are connected. If one particle's spin is up, the other entangled particle's spin will be down. The spins may instead both be up or both be down, depending on how the experiment is designed, but there will always be a correlation. Both particles can communicate their spins regardless of distance. One particle can be in the USA and the other particle can be in China, but they can communicate instantly. Now scientists agree the particles are communicating much more than their spin direction. And it's not only these entangled particles that communicate. Now scientists know a lot of these subatomic particles in this universe communicate all the time. With the limitations of our present-day testing technology, the only thing we can see and something we can be sure of is the spin direction. To understand two entangled particles, imagine the entangled particles to be like two dancers. Imagine these dancers are going through a dance routine. Now imagine these dancers are far away from each other. But these dancers, regardless of distance, still follow the same dance routine. By looking at one dancer, you know with 100% certainty what the other dancer is doing. This is what scientists find when observing these entangled particles. Further, when we study the distribution of these subatomic particles that communicate with each other, we find these particles are used with order and mathematical precision in the assembly of this universe. We see repetitive order and precision where these different kinds of subatomic particles show up within the atom and outside the atom. Scientists estimate these subatomic particles communicate 1,000,000 times faster than the speed of light. The more information we discover about these subatomic energy particles, the more we see the assembly of this universe. These subatomic energy particles communicate to maintain order and precision in our reality. The atoms and these particles negotiate the laws of physics and the laws of chemistry through this quantum communication. These nanoscopic energy particles are a major part of our reality and the assembly of this universe. Ask yourself, how can these subatomic energy particles be communicating? So how do they communicate? How did random, unplanned events create so many subatomic particles that communicate? To answer these questions, let's first understand what communication is. To communicate, there have to be 4 prerequisites. 1. If any two entities are to communicate, they must be connected. A form of wire or wireless connection must exist before two or more entities can communicate. Without this connection, one entity will not even know of the existence of the other entity. 2. For communication between two entities, there has to be a common language that both entities understand. To install a common language in both entities, there has to be intelligent design. So before two entities start to communicate, an intelligent consciousness has to do the designing and planning. 3. There has to be a form of data processing or software. Whatever data is communicated between two or more entities, has to be processed if communication is to be useful. The data or information that is transmitted and received by the communicating entities has to be processed for the communicated information to become a useful event. So there has to be software to make sense of the communication. 4. All communicating entities are a part of an assembly. When two or more entities communicate, these entities are a part of an assembly. Any two or more components participating within a network are a part of a greater design or a greater assembly. These 4 prerequisites have to be in place before two or more entities can communicate. These 4 prerequisites for communication are not something random, uncontrolled, and unplanned events can create. Random unplanned events cannot create so many of these different subatomic particles. Random unplanned events cannot distribute these particles with mathematical precision to create an assembly. Random unplanned events cannot connect these particles to each other to facilitate a form of communication. These particles are a part of the assembly of the matrix we are a part of. We are a part of a high-technology simulation of the gods. Please share this video if it impressed you. If science proves the existence of God, this world will be a better place. If you have something to add, please comment. Thank you for watching. All content in this video was excerpts from the book The Real Creator, available at Amazon Kindle. The link to the book is provided in the description below.